Well, all right. Once again, Roland Grimes. Not just sports entertainment show, Roland Grimes show live. And at this time, we're going to get ready to land our plane. I want to thank this young man and the members of his family for joining us and enduring this evening as we had some very, very important information to get out to folks. But one of my headliners tonight, and I want you all to hear this very clearly, this young man graduated from high school with roughly a 3.6, 3.7 average.
Yeah.
And he went through a very challenging curriculum at Bishop McNamara High School.
Correct.
He played varsity basketball.
Correct.
Varsity football.
Correct.
And the interesting thing about it, he was one of those guys who was
track too.
And he ran track. And with an African dance drummer, or you in a ballet? Well, African dance drummer.
Yeah, no ballet.
All right. Now understand that when I returned to the DC area and I became a guidance counselor at Bishop McNamara High School, I went to visit there one day, and it just so happens that he was the first human being that I saw on that campus. And I was trying to find my way around, and he was very polite. He didn't joan on me or anything. He just said, "All right, sir, let me show you where you need to go." And I never forgot him, number one, because of the classy way he carried himself, and number two, that he was willing to help me even in the midst of his own lunch break or whatever was going on at that time. Upon graduation from Bishop McNamara High School, he took his act to the tribe of William and Mary College University?
The College of William and Mary.
The College of William and Mary. Now, from an academic standpoint, we understand that that is one of the most challenging institutions to get into from an academic standpoint.
Yeah, I agree.
But in terms of athletics, as you know, there's not much difference now between the big boys of Division I and the also big boys of the level that you played at. As a matter of fact, when you played against the University of Maryland, from what I understand from the jury, you were probably the best football player on the field that day. I'm just letting you know what was said to me.
Okay.
So, upon graduating from College of William and Mary, this gentleman, at the end of the draft period, was given a free agent contract to try out for what is now known as the NFL's Detroit Lions. Hailing from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, he just returned to this area from minicamp last week in Detroit. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Jerome Couplin III. All right, now I'm going to ask a question that probably is on everybody's mind. What exactly is a minicamp in the NFL? What does that consist of?
Well, let's see, long days.
What time does that day start?
Got to the facility around 6:37.
Okay.
Left about 6:37.
Now, what do you do once you get to the facility? I mean, other than, well, you eat before you or you eat at the facility?
At the facility.
Okay.
So I'll go eat breakfast, and then we'll have a special teams meeting. From there, we'll go to team meeting, offense, defensive meetings, kind of a fast-paced walkthrough. From there, we'll go to lunch, have a little break, then go back into meetings. After that meeting, we're on the field for practice for about a little less than 2 hours. Then from there, dinner, go to practice, go to meetings again, and then he was off.
So for those of us who have this romantic fantasization with the NFL, it's a job.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's a job. Now, are they finished with quote-unquote mini camps until the major training camp start, or do you have some more?
Well, the Detroit Lions were done. Other teams, they start at different times, so it depends on when the organization started all season.
Now, was this an all-rookie mini camp, or was it for the entire establishment?
Well, the first one I had was just the rookies. And then,
so you've been to two already?
Yeah. Okay. I went to one as soon as the draft ended, the following weekend. From there, that rolled right into OTAs, Austin practices, and then from there, that rolled right into the mid camp.
Now, OTAs are off-season training activities, and they're supposed to be optional. How's that working out? Most of the guys show?
Oh yeah, most of the guys show. You know, you get paid for that too, so.
Okay. Now, a team like Detroit, do most of the players live in the Detroit area all year long, or during this off-season, or most of them coming in from home, you know, different parts of the country right about now?
I think it kind of varies. A lot of the vets, you know, will leave, like, go on different places on weekends who have that money to do so. But, you know, some of the guys, well, a lot of the guys, I would say, probably have homes in that area.
Okay.
Can't really answer that, but I would assume that.
Now, when you're there, do you stay in a hotel? You stay in a dorm? You rent an apartment? What happens?
I stay in a hotel right now,
Okay.
in the Henry. So it's like one of the, I guess you could say, probably the best hotel in the area.
Okay. Now, do they coordinate that for you, or you have to find all that out yourself?
No, they go ahead there for me. I took care of all that.
When you walk in and it's all rookies, you kind of have one mindset. Then when you go back, and then the Matthew Staffords, did I get the name right?
Yeah, you're
The
right.
Calvin Johnsons, the Reggie Bushes,
Yeah.
they show up.
Mhm.
Does the atmosphere change a lot when these guys come in, or is it pretty much the same kind of vibe when the vets show up as when the rookies are there?
I guess you would say the same kind of vibe. You know, it's a workplace. You know, you come to work, come to get ready, to get better, and do your job.
Now, your job, as you say, do your job. Give me a brief description of what your job is as a defensive back in the NFL.
Stop touchdowns, get interceptions.
Stop touchdowns and get interceptions
And make tackles, of course.
and make tackles.
Yeah.
Okay, now, that's pretty specific.
Yeah, straight to the point. Safety, you last line of defense.
I'm sorry, say that to me again?
Safety, you are the last line of defense.
Okay, so for those novices out there, safety position, you are the furthest back on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, give it to you.
Unless there's a particular scheme where you're closer to the line of scrimmage,
Yeah.
coming after people who are running the ball like me. So once we break that first line, second line, third line, whatever that is, then we encounter a relationship with you as a safety.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once we begin this relationship with you, 15, 20, 30 yards down the field, tell us, what goes through your mind as I approach you with the ball in my hand and you know that I am on my way to score 6 points for my team? What goes through your mind in that brief moment as you get ready to introduce yourself to a running back like Roland Bubba Grimes?
Well, I heard you was a big back, so I don't know what I did back there. I might have just had to come hit you in the mouth real quick.
Hit me in the mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then whatever
I'm
happens,
humbled.
happens.
And then whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens. I'm gonna win sometimes, you gonna win sometimes.
Okay. And sometimes I'm gonna be toothless.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, if I wasn't such a big back, what goes through your trajectory of thought? If I'm not a big back,
Same thing.
you're gonna hit me in the mouth anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if I catch the ball in your area? What do you do differently then?
Same thing, get them down.
So bottom line is your mindset at all times is to disengage that person from the football or hit them in the mouth and then see what happens.
Yes, in a legal way though.
Of course, legally.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry. Legal caveat. Legally within the realm of the rules.
Correct.
Okay. Now, the rules have changed quite a bit. Before we take our quick break, when I played, you could hit me damn near anywhere you wanted with anything you brought, including like some furniture or whatever, right? But the rules have changed, and now what happens is, as we say, as a consumer, we say that the rules favor the offense now. So I'm not going to ask you to give me your viewpoint in that, but I am going to say this. Do you hear a lot of the defensive players talking about, do you hear chatter in the locker room and around the league, guys on defense saying, man, we wish we could play like we did back in the day?
No, I think people are just adjusting to it. At the end of the day, you don't want to get fined to go to your pockets. So I think people are just doing what they do, just still be physical, but at the same time be smart.
And it's also trickling down to the collegiate and high school level. So now we're sort of being prepared for that even before we get to the pros.
Yeah.
Okay. Now in practice, do you have to also follow those same rules, or in practice, do you get to kind of practice some other aspects of engagement that you can't necessarily do during the game when you get fined? Or do you get fined in practice?
Well, we just been in helmets, so with the different phases of your new offseason now with the CBA, we're not allowed to be physical, jam, hit people, tackle at all.
You can't put your hands on anybody in minicamp for the most part?
No, it's more for safety. But I would say even still, I would assume, once training camp comes, they're going to teach you, keep your head up, even with your shoulder, not your head. That's what I heard in college, especially, when the new rule came in this past year. So I would assume, that's going to definitely be the case, no matter what level it is now.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick station break, and then we're going to wrap things up in the next 6 to 7 minutes on the Roland Grimes Show Live. Sit tight, we'll be right back. Ready to roll. Thank you. Right now, I'm extremely nervous because I'm sitting next to a safety who is now trying out for the Detroit Lions. And I played running back in college, and safeties, they were like missiles. Like, as soon as I broke past the line and then I broke past the linebackers, all I heard was and then something just went off, and it sounded like a bomb inside of my helmet, man. Because, see, safeties used to be like 165, 175 pounds back in the day. Oh, how much do you weigh, dude?
215.
You see, now, when I was in school, physics said mass times acceleration equals force. Now, 175, I used to hit these jokers and drop them in half, fold them up, and like in their careers. At 215, these guys are bringing a lot more lead to the party now at 215. How old are you now?
22.
Which means that you're going to put on another 5 pounds a year over the next 4 years. So if you decide to continue this game and the game decides to continue you may top off at a 225, 235 pound safety, whatever else the heck you do, outside linebacker, corner, kicker, returner, whatever it is they ask you to do, because they're going to put the extra money in your paycheck. Yeah. But are safeties now over 200 pounds typically?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, it also varies on height. I'm one of the tallest safeties, so.
Right. So now, how tall are you?
6'1", 6'2".
No, I'm 6'2".
Nah, I'm about 6'1", 6'2".
That's NFL measurement. You 6'1", 6'2". When you walk by me, you 6'4", dude. I don't care what they say. Now you have a vertical leap that's like what, 77 inches or something like that?
No, only 42.
Only 42. All right, now I want you all to understand what a 42-inch vertical leap is. Okay, that means he can stand on one side of a Range Rover and not take a step and just jump right over the Range Rover and land on the other side. I saw him in high school. I'm not even gonna tell you what he, but 42-inch vertical leap.
Yeah.
Man, mine was only 47.
Yeah. It's a lot of weight going up in there.
There's a lot of weight going in there. See, I knew he was going there with that. And then when it lands on you, man, it's painful. Yeah, I watched you in a high school game. I believe it was O'Connell. And I think that's when sort of the rest of us got a chance to see you just devastate the defense. As a wide receiver, you caught 2, 3? How many touchdowns that day?
4.
In a high school, all in one half, right?
1 quarter.
In 1 quarter. So now understand, it's not just catching the ball. You actually have to bring this joker to the ground. And he has the speed to run away from the safeties that he is now. But in high school, I'm watching this game, and we were actually getting ready to lose.
Yeah, it was going to be pretty bad.
And all of a sudden, something just happened, and you started catching these slants. and just took, and you scored 4 touchdowns in 1 quarter. Man, good gracious. Now, when you decided to go to College of William and Mary, what were 2 or 3 of those things that entered into your decision-making process?
As far as choosing school?
Yeah, as far as choosing your college.
Well,
because you had a couple of different options.
Yeah, but William Mary, great education. Coach Andrews did a great job recruiting me. You know, school made me feel wanted, maybe, you know, feel like welcomed, and, you know, that family atmosphere we had at Bishop Magnet, I felt that there.
Now, did you have more fun, and this is kind of a loaded question, but over that time, do you feel you enjoyed playing the offensive side more or the defensive side, or it didn't make any difference to you?
It didn't really make no difference. I just wanted to get on the field. So they recruited me as an athlete, and at the end of the day, they said safety was going to be my best bet. So,
okay, so if we just put you at nose guard, you'd have been cool with that?
Yeah, I'd have been a small nose guard, but I'd have been
But you'd have played? You'd have been fighting hard, right?
Yeah.
All right, so look, as I begin to wrap this up a little bit so I can get you home, because I know you got to get some rest and get ready for the next thing. You have a gentleman here with you who I have a very, very deep respect for. And we just finished Father's Day this past weekend, and I wanted to sort of give credence and kind of say hello and thank you and congratulations to some of the fathers out there as we celebrated Father's Day this past weekend. You have several people in your life who have invested in your development all the way across the board. But one young man in particular who I really don't ever remember seeing you without him being around. Can you tell us a little bit about that relationship and what it has meant to you over the years and what it means to you now?
Well, of course, you talk about my grandfather. Just from a young age, you know, my mom had me young, my grandparents had my mother young, and, you know, they're like second parents. So they were young and be able to run around with me. You know, he was able to take me to, you know, different games, different camps, practices. Even we used to go back when I played basketball. We used to go to run and shoot with Sunday mornings at 5:30 in the morning to go play because nobody was in there but just us. So you know, that relationship right there was very beneficial. You know, he did all he could, you know, to make me the young man I am today, and I can't do anything but thank him for that. I thank him every day for that.
Super. I was going to try to get him on the show today, but by the time I got his number, it was running a little bit late, and I know Pop don't play that. So I'm going to extend. So we're actually going to do a show on law enforcement in the near future.
There you go.
Right. So I'm going to reach out to him, and I want to talk to him about some of the changes he's seen in this environment, and then we can also reverb a little bit about his role as a father, husband, etc. in our community. So I just need you to do me a favor and sell him on coming back on my show.
I see what I can do.
All right, so now I'm going to end on this note as far as this part is concerned. Because this is called professional football, there are cats around you that are getting paid.
Yeah. Getting paid.
All right, so let's talk about this, man, because I know a lot of people wonder.
Mm-hmm.
The money that you guys make playing football, negotiate contracts, and of course you have the collective bargaining agreement now that changed some things.
Mm-hmm.
People often say that athletes shouldn't get paid as much money as they do to do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure, I mean, I have my own perspective on it, because if there's an owner that's cutting you a check for $400,000 a year, you can only imagine what the owner's making. Exactly. Now, when you decided to get into this business and you decided to sign a free agent contract, you really have an option of looking at different teams.
Yeah.
So in essence, you almost get a chance to once again decide where you want to go, to some extent.
Yeah, to some extent.
What made you decide on the Detroit Lions?
Well, just talking, you know, with my agents, Chris Coy and Tony Page, they felt like that was going to be the best bet for me as far as, you know, making the team and making the roster, you know, giving me the best opportunity to, you know, showcase my talents, you know, making sure that I was going somewhere where, you know, there was going to be a fair advantage. You know, I wasn't going to be just, you know, a camp body or, you know, somebody they were just bringing in just because.
Now, did you say your agent was Chris and Tony Page?
Yeah, too.
Man, Tony Page was, it made my life miserable in high school, man. That's a whole nother show. But, so they help guide you in that decision-making process?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I just had to trust them. That, they'll help me make the best decision for me.
Okay. Now, the way this works is, what are you, 2, 3 year, 4 year deals? How's that work?
3-year deal.
And then at that point, you come back to the table if you're still in the business and do your thing.
So a couple of different, scenarios that play out, but yeah, nothing changes.
Now, you did finish your degree.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
In what?
Kinesiology and health sciences.
Kinesiology and health sciences, so you can break them up and help fix them. All right, folks, let's put our hands together for my good friend, Mr. Jerome Couplin. All right, Keisha, don't worry about the film. Real quick, before we depart, questions. Anyone have questions for Mr. Couplin? And of course, since he's under contract, there's some things that he's not allowed to say, like he can't tell you exactly what size shoes somebody wears or, how many girlfriends they got or whatever. So he has to be real curt. But please, Kelly.
Did you go to the combines, and if you did, what was your 40s?
Well, I did not get invited to the combine, but in my pro day I ran a 4.55 in 32-degree weather.
And what's the significance of the temperature?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you gotta think.
Muscles all loose, etc.
Yeah, but you gotta think too. Guys running an indoor facility. Warmer, you don't have to worry about. The cold. It's just like a game. You're not gonna run as fast in the game in snow than you would running in the middle of the game.
So you ran this outdoors?
I ran outdoors.
Okay.
A little bit of rain, a little bit of sleep.
Right down in Virginia?
Right down to Virginia.
That'll work. Questions?